to be the only big victory that we have in Illinois. And I do want to say that too. The voter turnouts can be so low because there's nothing on the ballot. This race is crucial. This is why we have to get out there and vote as well. But our next congressman, 17, just beyond.
Okay, go.
Wow. You know, people say too many nice things about you, you start thinking you're hearing your own obituary. So. But that's not the case today.
Nope.
Thanks for coming, everyone. I see so many friends here in the room and so many people that are committed to making a change in America.
Yes.
You know, I just finished up almost 22 years on the bench in Rockford, and I saw firsthand all the results of Biden's failed open border policy. Every community is a border community now because the crimes committed by illegals against American citizens, I had a human trafficking court, I saw the impact there. The gun court, I saw the violence there. And most shockingly were all the deaths due to fentanyl. And a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, if someone would have asked 10 people in a room what's fentanyl, probably not one of them could have answered that question. But now everybody knows that term. It's a synthetic opioid manufactured by communist China and is delivered across our southern border every single day. Not for use in Mexico, but for sale exclusively here in the United States to poison us, to kill our youth one person at a time. And you have to understand what things are in order to address them and tackle them. I've been down to the border twice. I've talked with Border Patrol. I've talked with social services. I've talked to medical professionals. And as Dave was talking about free health care for the illegals here in Illinois, in Yuma, they have a level 1 trauma center. It's first rate, but they are completely overwhelmed by illegals every single day. And Americans have to drive 80 miles to the next town to get health care.
Wow.
Let that sink in. Social services are overwhelmed. The list goes on and on. And it's like this every single day. It's just imagine the waves against the seashore, okay? It's like that. It keeps coming and coming and coming. And the rest of us, those of us that are here, that pay taxes, that care about our country and our country's values, we're totally ignored by this administration. You probably heard this old adage or joke, we're from the government, we're here to help you. Yeah, we've seen how that works out. The government under the Biden administration with Eric Sorensen as his rubber stamp has done nothing but undermine the rights of parents, undermine American citizens, undermine American business, undermine energy production, and undermine our safety. You know what the number one issue is throughout the district? Dave's talked about that because I, just got back last night from an issue. You know, the number one issue is fentanyl and it's crime. People don't feel safe in their communities. They don't feel safe. And the reason why they don't feel safe is because all this stuff comes across the border every day. The second biggest issue is the economy. Who hasn't felt the result of Biden's inflationary spending practices? You know, every time you go to the grocery store, every time you go to the gas pump, every time you look at your credit card statement, we're at a record number of credit card balances being kept high and record number of defaults. So, okay, that's the picture. So Gail and I, when we saw what was happening in my courtroom every day, we decided together, we prayed about it, and we felt called to run for the United States Congress and to fire Eric Sorensen. The thing is, as Dave said, this is the only flippable seat in Illinois. The only flippable congressional seat is the 17th. That comes not only from the NRCC, the National Republican Central Committee, but also comes from the left. Politico has identified Eric Sorensen as one of two Democratic congressmen most in peril of losing their seat.
Yeah.
So they know, yeah, they know that his elitist attitude, his disrespect for his constituents. He said that, the constituents aren't too smart, that they would need his help to find Morocco on the world map. Well, my response to that is the people in the district aren't wondering where Morocco is. They are facing real life challenges every single day for them and their families. But it's just representative of his elitist attitude. So when I go to Washington, D.C., I'm going to be bringing the values, the traditional values, historical American Judeo-Christian values.
There you go.
And hard work and balancing a budget
Yes.
and taking care of family and having the appropriate influence with your children, not having the government undermining your influence every day. And those are called the values of the 17th congressional district.
Yes.
I'm bringing those to Washington, D.C.
Good.
I'm not bringing their leftist ideology back to the district and telling you that you should somehow like it or adapt to it. They're wrong on almost every issue. And so what do we need? We need each of you. Someone told me or read an article that said in the American Revolution, only estimates are as low as 3% or as high as 7% of people were actually involved in the American Revolution.
Wow.
And so we look back on that as a very patriotic time, historic time, when citizens rose up and threw off the yoke of King from England and the oppression that we felt every day from them. The reason why I'm mentioning that is do not be discouraged when you look at how many people they have or how much money they have. We have enough.
Yes.
We have enough people, and all we have to do is do our best every day. Whether it's your time, your talent, or your treasure. Everyone's got to lean into this, and we will be fine. I was talking to Steve Scalise yesterday, the majority leader,
Wow.
and he has endorsed me. I run for Congress, so we're looking forward to I'm also on Speaker Johnson's list of candidates to be supported by other congressmen. And so
Nice.
we've been endorsed by 12 of the 14 sheriffs in the district and the Fraternal Order of Police for the entire state of Illinois, because my reputation for law and order, my commitment to the justice system over many, many years as a prosecutor and a judge, they know that I'm going to support them, restore respect for law enforcement, restore the rule of law,
Yes.
instead of this chaos that's going on in our cities right now.
Hey.
And so what do I bring to the position? When you're a judge, I've had to make all kinds of tough decisions. Everything from a death penalty case to a child custody case. And you can imagine the emotional issues, the complicated issues that are in each of those types of cases and everything in between. And so I've had to listen to this evidence, this testimony by opposing sides, each urging me to do the opposite of what the other was saying. And I know as a judge that 100% of the time, 50% of the people in the courtroom are not going to agree with what you said, okay? It's an adversarial system. That's just how it works. But when you're a judge, you don't get to vote present, all right?
No.
You've got to make a decision. So I would listen carefully to both sides. I'd weigh the evidence. I'd evaluate it. I'd look at what the law required. And I'd pray for wisdom, discernment, and making the right decisions. So when I go to Washington, D.C., I'm going to be using those same skills, the same deliberative decision-making to get things done. I'm not looking for my couple minutes of fame on Fox or CNN where I'm airing my grievances against some other member of the House. I'm going to be working to make sure the House works for you. And we're going to have a budget. It'll take a while to get a balanced budget, but right now we don't even have a budget, just continued resolutions. Who knows who was president the last time we had a budget? Clinton, right. What do you think about that? It's not because of Bill Clinton, it's because there was a Republican Congress.
Yeah.
And so we've got to have a budget where we can keep track of what is going on.
Right.
And then we can, focus in on different issues that have to be addressed. So, you have to have a sense of history. And there has never been a time like this before. And I say that without fear of contradiction because you've heard in previous elections, this is the biggest election of your lifetime, all right? And I'm not saying they're wrong, but the stakes just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you've seen what 4 years of Biden and Sorensen and Ocasio-Cortez and the other leftists that are running our country, you've seen the havoc that's wrought in a very short period of time. So are we going to get the ship righted just like that? No, but it all starts with a step. Lean into it. I appreciate everyone coming here today. You are the key to victory in the 17th Congressional District. I'm grateful for everything everyone has done and will continue to do. March 19th is the primary. Go out and vote for Judge Joe McGraw. Appreciate it. And then we'll be on to beating Eric Sorensen in November. Thank you.